guys, good morning. My name is Mandy and you can find me on the internet as Mandy Von Knits on Instagram and Ravelry. I am a 41-year-old woman. I am a paraplegic who lives here in southeastern Michigan with my husband and my 2 kiddos. And I love to craft. I am an avid crafter who loves to knit, crochet. I love yarn and I love talking about yarn. So if fiber arts is your jam, stick around. I would love to have you. We have a lot to talk about today. I have like a pile of bags over to my right. So we're going to try to get through those. But first, I am going to tell you about Yarn Stash Smash 2026. So Karen and I, Karen from Bobblehead Knits, we're trying to encourage you to use your stash. Use your stash yarn. Use the yarn that you've had in the closet for a little bit, yarn that you've been meaning to use, and just utilize it in a project. And then once you're done, either email us a picture or go over to Ravelry and search for our groups. Mine will be under Mandy Von Knits and hers is Bobblehead Knits. And then go ahead and find the forum threads where you can post a picture, come back at the end of the quarter and see if you've won one of the drawings. So that was a lot of words. I am the first to admit it. So if you go over to Yarn Stash Smash 2026, on the left-hand side, there's a bunch of links, and all of those links are basically the important parts of the contest. If you're like me and like things very summarized, just go to that domain, hop on over and look at the navigation links. It will link you to our Ravelry forum groups and things like that, and give you email addresses, our email addresses, so you can email the pictures if you don't use Ravelry. Okay, sometimes, you know what, life needs a summarize button, because I feel like there's so many things going on and so many things that we have to do every day that I appreciate it when things can be simplified. That's my speech today, guys. Okay, the next thing is that I am going to leave a blank spot right here. And if that was you, you know the drill. Reach out to me on either Instagram or Ravelry. My username is Mandy Von Knits, and let me know what pattern price you want, and I will go ahead and gift it to you. The only 2 rules are that the pattern price has to be 15 USD, or you can only win once a month. Now, if I draw your name and I show your name, you are the winner. You don't have to worry about the second rule. I am just throwing that one out there for newbies who have never been here, have no idea what I'm talking about. I go ahead and basically run a pattern contest every podcast. The way that you enter is you leave a comment down below. Come back next week and see if you win. That's it. That's all there is to it. Okay, let's carry on, because I need to get through these projects and my kids have an extracurricular activity and I don't want to disclose, anything other than that, but I kind of have to hurry on this one. My son's like, don't make us late. I am going to tell you something. We don't make those kids late. Those kids make themselves late. It'll be like 3 minutes till the time they have to leave, and they're like computer or phone, and they don't even have their shoes on. Do your kids do that? Or loved ones, I should say. Okay, I am going to talk about my first project. This is a 27 color Snood. I love this. I love how this is coming out. So this is basically a Snood, and we are using, I am using wool stock. And you can see right here, this is where the yarn is meeting up. Now I am slipping a stitch. I am slipping the first stitch, then coming back around and knitting it. So I'm doing that for each color change, and it's my hope that once I weave in these ends up here, it will all even out and make it to where it's a joinless row. But we're gonna see. We'll see what happens. I love this idea of a snood because it will just sit right on, look at how much that stretches out for. I love it. It will just sit on my shoulders and I won't have to worry about it as much as I would, say, a shawl or something that would fall off. Because, you know, the wheelchair, I'm constantly moving my arms. So this just stays on a lot better. I love it. I have the Woolstock mini bundle of Fire and Ice. So we've got some red colors. These are the red colors that we have in the bundle. And then up here are the blue colors. Now what I am doing is I am starting to use these red colors combined differently than down here. I don't really have much of a preference for how I'm displaying them. I just want to make sure that I'm not using more than the same color twice. So what I'm going to do here is display two lines of red and then go back to 2 lines of blue. I'm pretty sure after that 4, 8, I'll be almost done. I'll have to go through one set of colors again. And then I'm going to be pretty much done after that. I won't even get through the second set of colors, I don't think. But it's going fast and I love it because it's worsted weight yarn. It knits up fast and it's just around and around. I definitely do have some kind of housekeeping to do to weave in the ends and make the stripes less joggy. But you can kind of see what's going on right here. I'm sure that there were ways I could have carried the gray yarn because I cut it after when each color stripe started. I didn't want to carry it because I tried to carry one and immediately when I did it, I started like, you know, pulling the fabric, trying to see how much it would withhold the stretch. And I did it and I just didn't like it. I didn't like how it felt. I would pull the yarn a little bit more to kind of leave some lax and then pull it, and that was fine. But then I had a giant loop. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna cut it. Because if I have a choice between a giant loop or it restricting the movement, I'm going to just go ahead and cut it. I've dropped some stitches, but you know what? That's okay. It's just basic stockinette. No big deal. Let me kind of straighten it out before I put it back. You'll notice that on this one, I do not use the light bulb. I do that like all the time, guys. They should rename it. They definitely should. I do not have the light bulb stitch markers holding these needles in place because, like I said, it's all stockinette. What else do I have? I know. I've got a plan. That's what I have. So I have a lot of stuff cast on, guys. A lot of stuff. So I have talked about my sun sweater and how I need to redo it. If you watch episodes around last Christmas, you'll know that I tried and failed on a strange brew for my son. And it's not so much that I had a lot of difficulty with the round yoke. With my son, I decided to use the male sizing. I picked a medium that was too big for him. I knew it was going to be too big for him, but it's also a circular yoke, which means that if you've ever made a circular yoke before, you know that it will increase very fast on certain rows. So on certain rows, a ton of increases, and then you'll have some color work, and then a ton of increases, and then maybe some more color work. So it throws out increases all at once. and then kind of skips them and then throws them out again, etc. I don't like that. I don't like it because it causes ripples, or at least it can. I'm telling you, it causes ripples. So whenever my son tried on his sweater, it was wavy, but it was also too big. So I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna be happy with this, so we're gonna do it again. Keep that in mind, because I am going to show you the Corbis, and I am going to also tell you why I have to put this away for now. And it's because yesterday, the day before, I was sitting around thinking, you know, it's almost September. It's gonna be Christmas before we know it. And if I don't get my son his sweater, I'm going to be disappointed in myself. He won't mind, but I will. And also, my daughter, she looked at me the other day, and I wonder if I can put pictures up. I wonder if I have pictures that don't show her face. If I do, they're up there. We went to a cat rescue the other day. Not a cat rescue, a cat cafe that is a cat rescue also. And we went there and hung out with the cats. But one of the things is that she wore her cat sweater that I made her last Christmas. And she's wearing it, and she looks at me and she goes, Mom, I need another one of these, because the sleeves are like here. Really, guys? It was an all-over colorwork sweater, and she's just like, I need another one. But she wears it all the time, so how can you argue with that? With that said, that is why I'm going to be putting this up. I did work on it this week before I decided that. And this is all of the work that this is going to be getting until I get those, well, maybe 2 colorwork sweaters done. I wouldn't do them if my kids didn't wear the sweaters, but you can kind of see how the diamonds are being built right now. I am on the diamond chart, and I am going to try very hard not to get any stitches off because this is lace. I have all of my chart marked. I printed it out. I have exactly where I am marked out. So I am going to put this up for now. You won't see it. And then after I get the sweaters done that I need to get done, I will bring it back out. But this is too time consuming. I cannot do this and work on all over color work at the same time. The Corbis is by Natasja Hornby. And I wonder if I have a picture of it. Probably not. Why does it matter? I'm putting a picture up on the screen. This is a very cool top. I am using Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, and I love the color. It's a pinkish. In case, sometimes the monitors do weird things to colors, but this is a pink. I have never used Pure Silk before, and it's very splitty, I've noticed. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if it will bloom a tiny bit after I wash it, but it is 100% pure silk. I'm hoping that it at least blocks nicely for the lace. This color is called Pink Daisies, and it says it's 100% borat silk and 250 meters for 50 grams. So I've been enjoying it to a point. Would I use it to make something that wasn't supposed to be holey? Probably not. I think that this is going to work well for a fabric that's open. I'd be worried if I wanted to use it for like a flax, a sock weight flax, because I don't know how the stitches would block out. When I have a fingering weight wool, I don't necessarily worry. I'm gone into a tangent. Okay, when I knit and I'm looking at my knit stitches, they can get sloppy. I mean, it's just the way it is before I block them. Now, when I block them with a wool nylon they even out. I don't know that this is gonna have much even out. So I would want to have it in a fabric that wouldn't be noticeable, which would probably be holey or lace, something along those lines. I feel like if I was going to use this for a stockinette, it might be a little bit more apparent. That's all I've got to say about that. I've never used any other knitting for olive yarn before. Let me see what else I have. I don't want to show you that yet. You guys are going to think I'm silly. I am. This is my favorite. I love this. This is flying by as well. I might not take this off whenever I'm done with it. We'll see. So this is my always there if I can kind of untangle what's going on. And I've been working on arms. I've been working on arms because I want to get them done so that way I just have the body. This arm over here is done. Well, I haven't cast it off. There's a very good reason I haven't cast it off, because I want to try it on and make sure that it's completely done before I cast it off. And I can try it on now. I will show exactly what we're dealing with. I put the light bulb stitch marker in so I can't put my wrist through. So you'll have to, I'll take it out. I'll take it out. There we go. So this is what I have. And I feel like once I block, it will be a good length. And my shoulder is fitting in nicely right there. So we'll see. I don't want to cast it off because, like I said, what happens if, I don't know, I need to take it out or I need to add some, or you guys know how it goes. Either way, it's a lot easier to take something off the needles than it is to pick out a cast off, especially with this alpaca suri stuff. It's not that it would just be irritating. Much better just to wait. Plus, what if I decide I want really long, like longer ribbing? I picked up the sleeves on the other side as well. And I'm knitting a size 3. I've got yarn coming out of everything. And it's like that because I have not finished any of the parts I've been knitting on. So I still have yarn coming from the sleeve, I have yarn coming from the bottom, and I'm working on this sleeve as well. So if you see me kind of trying to manage strands, that's why, that's what I'm doing. But I am knitting a size 3. I'm picking up the sleeves, the stitch numbers for a size 4. And I've mentioned this before, some people find Joji Locatelli's armholes a little bit snug. Now, one thing that I did do, and I can't remember if I mentioned this or not whenever I was building the body, but I'll mention it here. I think I did. I picked up 10 stitches under each arm. Now, she had you pick up none. I picked up 10 because I like an oversized cardigan. And I knew that extra room wouldn't bother me. But I knew even if I didn't want any extra room, I wasn't going to be picking up none. Because to me, that's weird. Whenever you join the arm, you're not adding any stitches. I don't know, guys. I didn't want to do that. So I picked some up. Whether or not if you make this you pick up 10, you could pick up 5, whatever. But I guess it would depend on your gauge and how loose you wanted, how much ease you wanted it. But this pattern is super simple to follow. It's basically just a stockinette and twisted stitch ribbing cardigan. I really like how it fits. If you watched the last podcast, you'll see how my other one fits. And this is super soft. This yarn is Blackbird Sycamore yarn, and it is Mystic Waters. It's the sock yarn held together with the alpaca baby alpaca Surrey. It's always hard to remember which one's the baby there. But yeah, alpaca and Surrey, and it's very comfortable. It's very soft. I'm loving the fact that it's very easy to hide the yarn ends and they stay put because of the alpaca Surrey, so that's a bonus. I've always wanted to make a cardigan out of fabric like this, but it's very cost prohibitive, so I haven't. This is my first time. I've made muscle burrows out of this combination, so I knew that I would like it. That's it for the Always There though. I very much enjoy this pattern. It is, well, I don't know that it's my favorite pattern, but it's my favorite cardigan, my other one anyways. Let me show you something new that I cast on. And I know. You guys are like, Mandy, you're talking about having all this stuff cast on, but you really want to finish your son's all over colorwork sweater. What are you doing? Why are you casting on more stuff? The answer is that I don't really have an answer, but my birthday was August 10th, and my aunt sent me some of this. And this, I wonder if it'll show up. I'm trying to block my face so it will. This is like a thread with little sequins in it. And that's my daughter's color. It's like a light pink, and she loves light pink. And I really wanted to make her a cardigan out of it because she has specific things she can wear at school. And one of the rules is that if you have a sweater or a cardigan, they have to be solid colored. So I cast this on. Now, this is the fabric that it makes. So one could argue that it's technically not solid color because I am holding it with like a cream colored sock yarn, but I'm gonna argue that it is. This pattern is Sunspots, and this is by Elena Nodel, and this is one of my tried and true girl cardigans, and she actually has a version for adults, and I'm eyeing it for myself, but no time soon because I have enough on my plate. However, I love the way that this is constructed. Let me see if I can show you here. It's kind of hard, but I specifically put it on a needle like this. Now I'm holding it upside down, but I'm trying to show you the yoke. So what happens is that you're building out this yoke, and you have two little edges that have cables on them. And that's like your front part right here. And you don't increase those, but you're increasing everything else. And what happens is eventually it's going to get big enough to where you can join the sleeves. Once you join the sleeves, you're going to take this whole thing and surround it by ribbing. And I'm hoping that that's right. The only thing I would be confused on, no, it's right. So you take the whole thing and you surround it by ribbing, and then you go ahead, it'll be a cardigan by then. So kind of like this. And now it's a cardigan that has ribbing, and you basically take the bottom and you surround it by this really pretty lace. My daughter loves hers. I've probably made her 3 of them. I am casting on for the largest size because she's the largest size now. So I can't believe it. I remember when she was like this little, now she's like almost a teenager. So It is what it is. I love the cable. Well, this is actually the first time I've done the, these cables are 6/6. So I've got 6/6 left cross and 6/6 right cross, one on each corresponding edge. And they were actually really hard to do. Six stitches crossed with 6 stitches is no joke, guys. So yeah, you can kind of see right here. So far, that's the little tiny sleeve that I'm building out. And the front. I like how the front kind of stays stationary while the rest of the cardigan builds. And I do like the fabric. I would probably cast it on to be a looser fabric if I was going to pull it out and do it again. But it's not so bad. I feel like it's going to be more of a sturdy cardigan for winter, which is actually pretty good because, you know, winter's gonna be here before we know it. I love the sparkle though. I showed her, she was pretty excited about it. And since school starts in like a week, she'll get a lot of use from it. Now, my daughter is the type of kid, I make her hats, cardigans, sweaters, and she wears them like constantly. And in fact, she goes to my sweaters over here, and that's why I kind of try to hide them, because she's always messing them up and going through them and taking the one she wants to wear. Here's a story. And I thought that this was kind of funny. I walked past, well, I didn't walk. I rolled past her room the other day, and she has my lace and fade Boxy on the bed. Now, if you're not familiar with that, it's a very oversized sweater. Like, we're talking 13 or something inches of ease. Now, my daughter's smaller than me, and all I can think is her wearing the lace and fade Boxy. It's going to be like, the boxiness goes out to here on me, I believe. So I can't imagine her wearing it. She wears like a size 14 girls, and I'm like in a small, medium women. So you guys can extrapolate from there. But I don't know. She goes through my stuff and she loves it, so I'm glad. Makes me happy that somebody else is getting use of my stuff as well. Now guys, guess what I'm doing? Yes! I started my Sun's Strange Brew again. Now let me remind you, because I have it front and center. I'm actually going to go as far as I can without frogging this, because I want to use it as an example of like the sizing and what I should do. So this is what I'm remaking. Beautiful. I love it. I love the stars especially. I really think it would be fun to have like a hat with the stars, but this is what I have cast on so far. And I have some more of this yarn, so I am just, you know, picking it up from here. The changes that I have made is I am casting on a woman's small. I'm casting on a woman's small because I don't want the extra width that they give in the chest, and I think that that was part of the reason I failed last time. What I am going to do this time to make sure it goes better is I am going to have him try this on as I go. So, and I know you're thinking, Mandy, why didn't you do that the first time? And the answer is, honestly, probably because I was lazy. So it is what it is. I feel like this is going to be a much better fit for his neck. This neck was way too big, and it probably would have been okay for me. I like boat necks, but not him. And this was also like a swancho almost. The arms went down way too low for him. So I need to keep that in mind. That's kind of why I want to keep this around for as long as I can until I have to pillage it for the yarn, because I need that visual example. But I'm excited I have it started. I'm excited that, you know, it will be here. I will be working on this and it will be an all over colorwork sweater. Keep your fingers crossed for me, guys. I have learned a lot of lessons, and I'm not going to say that this was a fail, even though it was. I am going to make myself feel better and say that it was a learning experience. I went and bought a class from Zanity Knits, and I think that's how you pronounce the designer's name. They have a ladderback jacquard class, and I'm not going to implement it with this sweater, mostly because all of the charts are pretty close together, so you don't have to worry much about super long floats and yarn management. But after this, sometime after I finish the AWS certification class that I am working on, I am going to start to work on that. And yeah, I'm working on another certification. I haven't mentioned it here just because I've been dipping my foot into it, but I'm hoping that the cat's meowing. I'm hoping that I get done with it by, say, the end of September. It is something that I like to do every once in a while to refresh my skills, but I'm excited about this. I wish that I could wear this, but I too have the issue where the chest is too wide on this one. So I don't know if maybe it had, look at all of the yarn. That's because I'm in the middle of taking out the bottom, and I mentioned that one of the other episodes. I'm unraveling it kind of as I go, but sorry guys, I had to ask my husband to let the cat out. I think that's all of the knitting that I have this week though. I've just like the little baby sweater so far. I'm hoping to get farther on this. What I'm going to be doing more than likely is working on this, and then my always there. And I'm gonna work on this over the Snood just because she needs it. It's more of a necessity. I honestly wish I had more time to make more cardigans for her, because if she could, she would wear a cardigan every single day. It's just, I could make like light pink cardigans, or she wears all color cardigans. I could make cardigans constantly for her, and it would be kind of boring for me. So it is what it is. I try to get her at least a couple of them, and she takes some of mine, so it works out. But I'll be working on this and probably my always there, just until I make some headway on that cardigan, and then I can go back to my Snood. I do have one thing to say about knitting and crochet that I completely forgot about last episode, and somebody mentioned it on the comments. I won a $50 gift certificate from Adore Knit. Now she has a bag along, and I love her bags, and you see me use them regularly. She has cat bags all the time. I love them. But anyways, I won a gift certificate, and it's $50, and I've been watching her newsletters like crazy because I cannot wait to find the perfect one. And you guys know me. The perfect one is either a cardinal or a bird. I'm not picky. I love all birds. A bird, a cat, or pink. Very easy. Rainbow too. I love rainbow. You guys know me. I'm a very simple person. But you will see a new bag coming from her soon. I guarantee it. Because, I'm excited about it. I think that's it for the knitting and crochet content. So if you're leaving me here, thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to leave a comment down below if you guys want to win next week's pattern giveaway. What else? what do I have to talk about? I always forget the books that I read. It's like blank. So one thing that happened this week is my library card has expired. That was really, really sad. And we went to the library and I gave them the card and I gave them my license. And they're like, okay, it's renewed. And then I went home and realized that my library card is actually a card that my husband took out. And he took it out in his name so that I didn't have to go back up and renew, because it's harder for me to get around in the wheelchair. So when they said that that card was renewed, they were mistaken, because I went back to Hoopla or Libby to try to use it and it wouldn't let me still. So tell me how you guys are doing down below. Are you starting to knit for winter? Are you still knitting for summer? Are you knitting for whatever you feel like? Because I'm in that camp right now. I feel like, honestly, to be fair, I feel like knitting all the things. My brain has been very scattered lately, so it is what it is. I hope that you guys are having an awesome week. I thank you so much for stopping by. If you could, please give this video a thumbs up or hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I really geek out. Guys, I am a geek. I really geek out every time I get a subscriber, because it makes me feel like, I don't know, I got a new friend. It really does. Yes, Mandy, that is geeky. I was going to ask you guys, is that geeky? Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's how I am. It's my personality. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a great week, and I hope to see you back next week. Thank you so much. Bye.